Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Male Soap Opera Moment, the very best podcast slash videocast slash whatever on the interwebs, because we have the one, the only, the wrestling encyclopedia, Vincent Kennedy Bucci.
Yes. You'll notice something a little different today. The last few episodes, I used to have 2 belts over here. 1 belt disappeared, and as you can see, I am beltless. I have no belts except for the one holding up my pants. That's all I got right now.
Now, Booch, what's the reason for you being beltless this afternoon?
Damn Usos. That's why. The damn Usos. The day one-ish team that I love, that I like so much. I used to love them. They've gone down to like, because the Street Profits are, in my opinion, more entertaining, and they're the reason I don't have the belt, because that was the one match we differed on.
Yep.
And you got the point for that. And then we tied on everything else except Becky Lynch did not win because Sasha Banks interfered, causing the disqualification for Bianca Belair. So we got no points there. And I get it. And then Alexa Bliss got buried 6 feet, 12, I'd say 12 feet under at this point, at Extreme Rules. They gave keep the belt for reasons that even the most diehard Charlotte fans are saying why.
Booch, would it be safe to say that Charlotte Flair beat the stuffing out of Alexa Bliss?
That would sum it up perfectly. And again, it's another prime example of Alexa Bliss turning this chicken shit into chicken salad, because she legit was like crying over this doll. And apparently, if you look real closely, there was an antacid tablet in her mouth, and they were trying to get her to foam at the mouth like while she was crying, but there was a botch with that and it didn't work out. So it just looked horrible. But
not at all. There is an emotional link between heartburn and stress. So yeah, it totally makes sense. It's part of the gimmick, but it's also real life stuff. So let's go back. Let's get to it quickly in the sake of time here. The Wenz is on his lunch break, trying to honor that. So let's go back to Extreme Rules. Booch, I went into Extreme Rules with no expectations. I was ready to jump the shark. And I got to say, man, they won me back. It was a fantastic pay-per-view. It was well put on. Now, the outcomes may not have been what you wanted, but hey, the better person won. And we'll leave it at that. And by the way, I am expecting that belt sometime in the mail. If you don't mind, that would be great, because I'd love to just proudly have it with me, and adorn the shoulder here. It was an awesome pay-per-view. I got to say, to me, easily, Liv and Carmella had the most physically taxing, tolling match just from the optics of it. And I think that was my favorite of the matches, other than the moment between the Demon and Roman Reigns. Top rope, coming dismantled. And I love how they're employing the supernatural tactics, not only for Finn Balor's benefit, but also to his detriment.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we were sitting there like, what the hell's going on? I was watching with some friends. We're like, we seen the, and then they had him like, then they turn red, turn the music on, and not since the days of New Jack, God rest him, that I had seen a match where someone was wrestling while their theme song was playing, because that's what New Jack used to do in ECW. They would play Natural Born Thrillers, and he would come out, and from the moment he walked out to the ring to the moment he left, even during the match, they'd still play the song. So that was like a New Jack kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think it was a tribute to New Jack, but if it was, even better. But I just found it weird that why go through all that and then have him not win? That's what that was weird. Why even, if he's not going to win the match, why even do it? That's why I didn't. That's the only reason I didn't like it. It would have been great if the finish was he goes up, hits the coup de grace, 1, 2, 3. We have a new Universal Champion. That would have been great. But then and they still haven't explained it. They didn't do any explanation for it at all. They just traded him to Raw. So that's the only reason I didn't like it. As far as like how it looked and the appearance of it, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was very well done. And again, people want the Supernatural is perfect because Bray's already established Supernatural can work. Hell, Undertaker established Supernatural can work in the right circumstance. So I thought it was great, but the fact that it didn't result in a new Universal Champion I can't put a stamp of approval on it.
Yeah, and I think we all know the reason is because Reigns has been set to meet Lesnar, and this is the battle of Paul Heyman's soul, and there's so much to that we can get into. I wish we had a ton of time to get into it, but just going back, what were your takeaways from Extreme Rules as we look forward to Crown Jewel?
My takeaways were that WWE is trying to get their footing back. I think it is just now hitting them how powerful AEW is getting. Now, the one advantage they have is that Tony Khan is starting to get very, very full of himself. And he's trying to act like there's a competition when there isn't one. Like Eric Bischoff was telling him, dude, don't try to compete with Vince, just shut up and wrestle. And everybody was like, well, Eric, you competed with Vince. He goes, yeah, but I was actually competing. Like, our shows were Monday night. It was a Monday night war. Dynamite's on Wednesday. Rampage is on Friday at 10 o'clock. SmackDown ends at 10. So just because SmackDown want to do an extra 30 minutes, you're acting like that's a competition. It ain't. Just, if Tony gets too arrogant, it could be their downfall. But if Tony gets his head on straight, WWE's in trouble. So they got to make as many drastic changes as possible. We'll get into more of them as we talk more about the predictions. But I feel like Extreme Rules, they tried. And in some cases it worked, but in a lot of cases, this was not enough to convince people to keep staying. Hopefully Crown Jewel is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's enough to keep me watching. That's why we're doing this segment. If it hadn't panned out the way it did, and they didn't provide those spots, and we didn't see much of Extremity, for a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. There was only one match that really brought that element. Of course, we just talked about it with Finn Balor, the Demon, versus Roman Reigns. But I'm grateful for the side of the table. I just want to let that be known as we recap Extreme Rules. And I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel. I mean, this is a big deal, Bucci. This is something that we've talked about since 2019 is when it started. And here we are. We've gone from oversized t-shirts to an actual showcase of three of the best, if not the best, competitors on the roster. And this is also big because it has implications to both the red and blue brand moving forward beyond Thursday.
Yeah. But the only thing that's weird is this, that they issued a draft, switched a lot of people around, and then said, well, the draft's going to go into effect after Crown Jewel. So why not have the draft after Crown Jewel? Because really, they backed themselves into awkward corners where you don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to jump in, but the only way to make my point is to do it. We got the triple threat match with the women for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yep.
2 of the women are on Raw, including the champ herself, which is fine because they could probably do a title switch like they did with the Street Profits and the New Day. But here's the problem. You had an open opportunity, did the belt off of Charlotte, who's now on SmackDown, with Bianca Belair, who is insanely over, who everybody loves, who we all agree got robbed at SummerSlam unjustly, but they couldn't do it. They could not let the Queen of Privilege give up her trophy. They just
we're not doing this again, Booch. I have a lunch break. I don't have an all-day event here, so
you don't have to. If you don't have to. If you don't argue, I can keep going. I can stop this anytime. I'm just saying they wouldn't do it. They couldn't do it. Their ego, their pride wouldn't let them. So now we got to deal with all this because here's the problem. One woman at this triple threat match on SmackDown.
Yeah, I know.
The only reason that could have worked, Sasha Banks. That's it. Bianca and Becky are both on Raw. Yep. So that means if Sasha wins, you got both belts on SmackDown now. So basically, Charlotte would probably have to give up the belt because no one's going to pin or submit her. And then they have to make a tournament to crown a Raw Women's Champion, which I didn't want to see. Nobody wants to see.
Okay, so, I mean, here it is. It's pretty simple, Booch. There will be one women's belt on blue and there will be one on red. There's no way that WWE in the writer's room are going to commit to a sausage fest on Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to do it. That would be wrestling suicide for them. You talk about losing share. Imagine not having a representative for all of the women's roster on your brand. That's insane. That's insanity. So it's not going to happen. So let's just go ahead and get to the predictions, Booch. This is a big deal. We'll start with that match, but there are 9 total matches, and they're all set to take place in the Mohammed Abdu Arena Thursday, noon our time on the East Coast here in Estados Unidos. And this is including 4 championship matches, a Hell in a Cell match, a no-holds-barred contest, and of course the finals for both of the King and the Ring, for both of the King of the Ring and Queen's Crown tournaments. Easy for me to say. And I've always loved King of the Ring because it always features the best of the best of the best. So let's talk about this triple threat match, Booch. Obviously, you know, they've pigeonholed themselves into Sasha Banks definitely losing this match. Now it's a matter of how she loses and who gets the benefit, who gets the push, and who gets buried. So, Booch, in about 30 seconds, who you got and why?
I'm gonna go with Becky Lynch because I don't see them doing right by Bianca Belair because they've already screwed her twice. And basically what's gonna happen is her and Charlotte is gonna do a belt trade. And then Becky's going to be the Raw Women's Champion, the belt that she gave, the very belt she gave away when she announced she was pregnant. And Charlotte's going to have the SmackDown Women's title because they got to let her have a title. So it's going to be Becky Lynch.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And we'll see Bianca and Becky feud on the red brand. And it'll be a great feud. And I hope it's a long lasting feud. But we'll see what happens. And so I'm with you on that. I think Becky wins. Let's take a look at this Drew McIntyre Big E championship match for the WWE Championship. Booch, who you got and why?
This is going to be a hard one to call because I do have to take Survivor Series into account. But I feel like Big E is on too much of a roll for the belt to be lost now. Yeah. I think there'd be too much of an uproar. Too many people get angry. You already did it you already did it on the draft. You already did it early to get a rating spike. But I strongly believe Big E is going to retain the title. I'm just worried how the match is going to look at Survivor Series when he faces who I think will win the match, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, I don't even see why Drew McIntyre's in a championship match again. I think they should take a break from him and give somebody else an opportunity. I understand he's probably the most believable competitor, and Big E's so over right now. There's no way he drops this belt. So I, too, am going to go with Big E Langston there. This no-holds-barred match, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Booch, I'm going to go first if you don't mind. Bobby Lashley is winning this match, and it's not even a consideration that Bill Goldberg will win this match. He will get his spears, he will get his jackhammer, but he will not win this match. If he wins this match, you can go ahead and stick a fork in Bobby Lashley. That would be an atrocity and an absolute slap in the face to the work that Bobby Lashley has put in WWE in the last 12 to 18 months.
I know I can strongly, confidently say Goldberg's winning this. And the reason I say that is because there is no title on the line. There's no WWE title. So there's nothing for Goldberg to take away from Lashley. And from a storyline standpoint, he's basically getting revenge for what happened to his son. So based on how the story's going and the fact that Bobby Lashley is no longer the WWE champion, Goldberg is going to win because now there's no reason to worry about putting a fork in Bobby Lashley because he's not the champ anymore. So it doesn't hurt him as much to lose to Goldberg than it would be if he took the belt from him. That would hurt him.
It's a slow bleed, Booch. I mean, how much more does Bobby Lashley have to suffer at the hands of this lackluster creative team and their inability to build matches and make it exciting? I mean, you have Bill Goldberg, somebody that watched wrestling in the mid-90s, previous century ago, Booch, can resonate with and knows who they are. And here we are. It's like, but then you put Bobby Lashley in the ring with him, somebody who is finally getting their due. And the way they book him and the way his character's built, like they could do a lot better. And Monday morning quarterback here, admittedly, that's fine. But to me, I don't see it happening. But the factor of him not defending a title makes me really uneasy. So I'm going to stick with my prediction, but I feel really uneasy about it. So There it is. So let's move it down the ladder here. Raw Tag Team Championship match as RK Bro, dude, the champs, taking on AJ Styles and his henchman Omos, who's really just continues to impress me. He just seems to be like showing new things every time he's in the ring. And I love seeing that out of a big guy, specifically somebody who may have been told over and over he should stick to football.
Yeah. I love Omos. I love AJ Styles. And we all know how I feel on Matt Riddle, so I won't even go into that. But RK Bro's on too much of a roll for them to drop those belts. And they did nothing with Styles and Omos when they had the titles. So I blame creative more than I blame them. But if they weren't going to do anything before, I doubt they're going to do anything now. So you might as well keep it on RK Bro, because as much as I love RK and despise the Bro, they're over. So they got to keep it.
Yeah, I for sure agree. RK Bro featuring the one and only Matt Riddle, the future of WWE, is definitely going to win this match, Booch. Hell in a Cell, the aforementioned match. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Oh, I just love when these guys get in the ring together. It's just always a great, like a match of the greatest match of all time level stuff. You know what I mean? When you have Edge, the R-rated superstar, when his theme music drops, Booch, I get chills. It just brings me back to WrestleMania 2000. You know, that time. But sorry, I digress on this time. Hell in a Cell, Edge versus Seth Rollins. I'm gonna let the former champion weigh in here first.
Thank you. Edge is totally winning this match. I see that 100%. I think the way they built this match is great. I love the story that was told. Edge had a great, because Edge already won the first match. Seth Rollins won the second match. And I feel like even though Seth could get the push from it, I feel like, Seth's got enough pushes in his career already. He's one of Triple H's guys. And when you're one of Triple H's guys, you get taken care of no matter what. So Rollins is not going to get hurt in any way by losing to Edge. And also they've made this way too personal for Edge to not win. It's too personal. If they had not gone as far as him breaking into the house, looking at all his stuff and doing all these things, maybe Seth could get the win. But you've made it too personal to where Edge has to win this match. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be violent. I wish it would have been on Extreme Rules. This is how violent this is going to be. But it's in Crown Jewel. Saudi Arabia's never had a Hell in a Cell match. They're getting their first one. So I'm giving it to Edge.
I'm going to go with Colby Lopez. I think Seth is going to win this match, and it's going to be probably the best match we see all night. I'm excited about, or all afternoon. I'll end up watching it at night. So the King of the Ring tournament final, Finn Balor, man, this guy, he's just trying, and they're trying to figure him out with this ultra personality, which we don't have time to get into on this show completely, but he takes on Xavier Woods, and this is a big match, Booch. I feel like the winner of this match is put up in, I hate to say this, but they sort of like the showcase of the Immortals. You have like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, names like that resonate inside this King of the Ring trophy case. And this is a big step up also, in my opinion, for Xavier Woods. I mean, a couple years ago, this guy was wearing pointed Wizard of Oz shoes, throwing pancakes with Kofi Kingston, trying to get over with this New Day gimmick. And he has stepped up his in-ring game so much dramatically. It is now risen to the level of his promotion game, which has always been great. So I just want to throw a big time shout out and praise to Xavier Woods for the work that he's put in.
Absolutely. He has done amazing. And I know he's going to be a great asset to SmackDown when he goes there. And I look at this King of the Ring tournament, and I got to say, no disrespect to Xavier Woods, but I don't see a scenario where Finn Balor doesn't win.
Yeah, especially because of
after what went down Extreme Rules, and with the push that he's been on, he needs something to solidify himself on the main roster. Because the first time he was on the main roster, he didn't have much of a run. Some of it was injury related, some of it was bad creative. He went back to NXT, reinvented himself, and they brought him back. So now they need to do something with him. And if you're not gonna make him the Universal Champion, you got to give him the King of the Ring. So I say Finn Balor will be the King of the Ring.
I'm going to go with Xavier Woods. I'm going out on a limb here, and I know that is that's an 8 seed going against a 1 there in some people's view, but I'm going to stick with Xavier Woods. Now let's flip it over to the fairer sex here, the Queen's Crown Tournament Final, as Zelina Vega takes on Dewdrop. I know you love that name, Booch.
Hate the name, love the competitor.
Word.
I'm amazed at how they're pushing her. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. And this is another one. This is one that's going to be hard to call just on the push they've been giving Dewdrop. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I think Zelina Vega wins it. And I think she wins it because they want to do something right by Zelina. Because you got to keep in mind, this is a person who walked away from the third party thing and caused a lot of controversy. They're be convinced to bring her back. Usually when you bring somebody back like that, you got to treat them right in some capacity. And if you're not going to put a belt on her, Queen of the Ring's the next big thing. This is somebody you want to keep around because she had a big enough fan base where she could make more money at the time walking away. So you know she got paid either the same or double what she was making online. So I feel like it's one of those things where we gotta keep this person because she could become too powerful. So let's give her the Queen of the Ring.
I'm going to go with Dewdrop. All right, here's our last one, a singles match as Mansoor takes on Mustafa Ali. I'm going with Mansoor on this one.
Yes. Mansoor is pretty much going to win every year. This is the moment where they showcase the Saudi Arabia star on a Saudi Arabia show. He doesn't get a lot of American TV time, but they bring him out once a year for Crown Jewel. It's his moment. Him and Mustafa Ali are going to tear the house down, but Mansoor's getting the win.
Booch, let's save the best for last. Brock, Roman, with Lesnar in between. This is the weirdest love triangle of all time, in my opinion. That was a visual for nobody's eyes or inner eye and all that, the third eye stuff. Oh my gosh, I've gone blind. But this is going to be a great match. I'm excited about it. Hopefully it lasts longer than 2 or 3 minutes. I am believing that Roman Reigns is winning this match.
Ooh. Okay. That's definitely a possibility. I am not going to deny that it isn't because Roman has surprised everybody, but at this point, I don't know who else is left. Unless they want to take the people that got drafted from Raw, bring them over, and maybe they take it. But I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm gonna say Brock Lesnar takes it. At this point, he's run through everybody. The list is a mile long. You're running out of people. I take that back. You're running out of credible people to take this belt. So who else other than Brock? It's got to be Brock. And that's why I was saying I was worried about Big E, because that would mean Brock would have to face Big E at Survivor Series, and I don't know how that match is going to go. But
yeah,
way I think it's going to be. I think Brock is taking it. I don't know whether or not Paul Heyman is going to help if we see a swerve anywhere. I don't know, but regardless, I say the Beast takes the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new prediction champion would like to say a couple things to you. First of all, thank you so much for watching and participating. Engage with us on the socials. Booch is always lit on Twitter. Follow him at Vince Bucci, and of course at producer_Joey at Wenz World Radio, VinnyTheBooch.com, WenzWorldRadio.com. But most importantly, we love that we're eye to eye and face to face right now. Your champion here, Joey, in case I wasn't clear about who's champion, would like to say, have a nice day.
And the challenge will say, bang, bang.